Good morning, good morning. Everybody like the live. Fill the heart's tale. Let everybody know that we're here. And then take a break. Thank you for the daily heart me. I appreciate it. How is everyone this morning? Thank you, thank you. You're being lazy today? Well, it's the perfect day to be lazy. The perfect day to be lazy. I know when I finish here, it's going to be nap time for real. I stayed up way too late watching scammers. Way too late. Oh, you getting ready for work? Well, thank you for getting up with me in the morning. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've finally been up on time when you start. I know it's early, boy mama. It is early. Yo, yeah, they were out full force. Yes, they were, Harley, I'm sorry. You know, part of what's happening is that people are seeing other people get money and they think that, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. Yeah, there's new ones every day. Like, literally, I'll just, decide to scroll, and there is always a new one. And then you have those that were um, scamming before. They stop when the money runs out, and then they come back thinking brand new people, brand new day, brand new money. It's sickening. It really is. It's sickening. But I often ask, what is your long term plan? Like, this isn't gonna last forever. This isn't gonna last forever. So what are you gonna do? I always say there is a difference between a handout and a hand up. And what most of them want is a handout. If you see someone who isn't making any progress in their life at all, ever, scammy vibes. Scammy vibes. Especially if it's been months. And you can tell if you watch them long enough, those who have the opportunity to do better and choose not to. Good morning, CJ. Good morning, everybody. Okay, we're at 80 people. I'm going to go ahead and get started because me waiting 3-4 minutes for everybody to come in here isn't fair to the people who actually get up on time. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a bolo. Angela and Tim and Angela. I'm saying they're a bolo because, oh, hail the queen, thank you, Dory. I'm calling them a bolo because I haven't watched them long enough to actually label them scammers. But they were here before asking for money every day like the rest of them. They went away for a little while and now they're back. Well, at least he was. Now, initially, way back when, they didn't have a car, and now they do. Did their supporters give them enough money to be able to buy a car? He claims he works. He claims that they were on the list for housing, but they got bumped down and they weren't told why. While I agree that there are some social services programs and bad actors within them who will do you dirty and not tell you, in my opinion, that is very rare. You get a reason why. Because they have to document a reason why. They just can't up and just change your number without a reason why. So do I believe that they don't know why? No. But that's my opinion. The hardest construction worker this side of Mississippi. So he talks about how his wife has medical issues so that she can't work, that she's been trying to get her disability for a long time. And anybody who has gotten disability, unless you are what they deem to be terminal or the potential to be terminal, it takes a long time. And I'm afraid the process is going to get even longer. Correct, Mercedes. He was like, the people were like, what about her brother? And he was like, well, he has a wife and 3 kids. But dig here. If my wife had to just sleep on the couch and I stay in the car outside, I'm going to do what I have to do. But instead, they got accustomed to their fans, enablers, mods, sycophants to give them money. TikTok is not an ATM. It is not. But they feel like it is. He said that he was gone because things were going well. What? So my question is, what happened that they stopped going well? It sounds to me like you're in the same boat you were in when you said it was going well. You had a job. She wasn't working. Y'all were staying in a hotel, I'm assuming. What happened? Did you lose your job? Did your hours get reduced? But one thing they never do is they throw out the things that make them sound like victims, but they never give you the details about how and why we got here. And because I'm skeptical, that's what I'm looking for. And we already went through the difference between asking for help and begging. They can classify it however they want. But when you are coming on here on a regular basis asking for money, whether you define it as help or begging, it's begging. I feel like people who battle are just doing it differently. It is sanctioned begging on TikTok. It's still begging. I wonder why so many quote-unquote famous people are on here now and battling. Is their 15 minutes of fame up and now they want to rely on that in order to get gifts during battles? Y'all, stop giving these people your money. Please. Someone mentioned, well, now that you have a car, you can DoorDash. And of course he can't, because they're in a small town and there are already so many dashers. Okay. But if you are willing to accept $1 for somebody on TikTok, you won't accept $1 from DoorDash? Or is it that in order to get that dollar with DoorDash, you actually have to do something? And on TikTok, all you got to do is sit there, look pathetic, act pathetic, tell us half of your life story, and get $1. Wow. I thought they got rid of her account. I got her second video violated because anybody who knows me knows that I followed that case probably better than the jury did. Like, I was into it heavy. And when she was found out guilty, I actually cried. I know that sounds pathetic, but I did. Because I could not believe she was getting away with it. And I also cried because I knew that had it been somebody that looked like me, it would have been an open the door shut case. And of course, Mark was like, well, she's innocent. Not guilty technically means you're innocent, but in reality, it just means that they couldn't provide enough proof to 12 jurors. Or I think she had 6. I can't remember now. But it doesn't mean you didn't do it. It just means there wasn't enough proof beyond a reasonable doubt to get however many number of jurors there were to get there. Now, do I understand why they were able to do that? No. And when I tell you, she dragged her family through the mud. My question is this. You got the tattoo basically saying living my best life. You went out and partied. You got with a man during all of it. When your mother said that she smelled the smell of an unalived individual, which is an unmistakable smell, when the dogs hit on your trunk, when you tell people that you have a job at Disney, you go to Disney and walk around like you work there and then have to admit that you don't. When you tell people that she's with a babysitter at an apartment complex and they get there and there's no such thing. For somebody who had nothing to do with it, you did a lot of covering your tracks. But okay. But I thought anybody that had anything to do with children shouldn't be on this app. And we know that TikTok doesn't hold that standard, not even a little bit. Right, Dory. Right. It doesn't make sense to me. And my thing is this. You got off. Go back into the corner, the crevice of the wall you were in. Please. Please go back into the crevice that you were living in. We don't want you here. Okay. Back to regular scheduled programming. He had on a hat that I think somebody thought meant that he was a veteran, but at least he didn't lie. He was like, no, I'm not a veteran. And then when people were like, well, okay, you get the money for a hotel room today, what about tomorrow? And his answer was, when tomorrow happens, it happens. And then the last thing I wrote was, of course they have a dog. While it would absolutely kill me to rehome my cats, if I'm struggling to take care of myself, it must be very difficult for me to be able to care for my animal. Why do they always have a pet? Always. It kills me. And so either they are really struggling or they're just seeing TikTok as an ATM. So they're back. So be on the lookout. It's Angela and Tim, and then it's Tim Oye 79. Just watch them for yourself. And then when we have open mic, which we will have today, you'll be able to come up and tell us what you think. I'm Dora, you are funny. I do have an update that I didn't add to the cover. One moment. Miss Ma'am, and I know this is wrong, but this is just a quick update. Miss Ma'am had her eviction pushed out a week, so now it's the 12th. So there is no resolution on that for her. And then, guess what, guys? Lo and behold, she was facing an eviction on the same Wednesday as Kim. Ain't that interesting? But she had a job that people were giving her money for. That whole court case where she was like the landlord had a girl come in and beat her up. No, that was all eviction. That's why hers was also postponed. That's why she was getting money every day. Yeah, they do think alike. She was on last night needing 20 for gas and food. I bet she does. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Real quick, I had 11 o'clock today. I got to go for some medical testing, so I will not be online most of the day. If you DM me, please be patient. As soon as I can get back online, I'll get back online and answer you. I got a nuclear stress test today, and I'm not looking forward to it. So if I don't answer you right away, that's the reason why.
Okay. Well, I hope it goes well. I'll be praying for you.
Yeah, and with Jordan Paul, her eviction was postponed yet again. Now, this is the same one that she had 2 weeks ago that was postponed because her lawyer didn't show up. And again last night, her lawyer didn't show up.
Wow. That's only going to last for so long,
Yeah,
that excuse.
if she's even going through an eviction. I mean, come on, she could have printed the paper up just as well as Kim. I've never heard of a lawyer postponing it and then 2 weeks later postponing it again because her lawyer wasn't notified or he didn't show up. I mean, if my lawyers, if I had a lawyer and we were going to go to court, wouldn't he notify me? If he didn't notify me saying, hey, we're going to postpone this because I can't make it tomorrow, if he didn't tell me that and I wasted my time going to the courthouse, I'd fire him in a heartbeat.
Hold on one second. I seen the court ruling she has to get out. Somebody's saying it was not postponed. Somebody who knows, can you come up and tell us?
Well, I'm going to drop.
Okay. Stephanie, can you come up? Or somebody who knows? Anybody? Nobody's willing to come up? Okay. It was not postponed, but she can deny it, but I don't know what that means. Okay, so she got the eviction, and usually they give you a day to be out, and it could be that day. What happened? Whoever was asking to come up, I hit something wrong. Can you request again? It could probably be that she has until the 12th to get out. And if she doesn't, then the marshals can come in. Just came in, so if someone already mentioned this, I apologize. But did anyone else see the music? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Oh, the video about her? No. Okay, so it looks like she was evicted. Scam jams. Okay, I'll check it out. But because I hadn't seen the records before myself, you know how I feel. Hold on, our horse. I'm back. Now, who are we going to talk about next? Oh, let's do it. Nick Wright, Mark Russell. I have now, thanks to CJ, seen the infamous video. Thank you, CJ. So now I can talk to it because I actually saw it. So he is confronted by people who, and there are a lot of them now, who pretend to be underage and um, catch predators. Or they find out that a teenager has been talking to an adult and they confront them. So they knocked on the door. They asked him to come outside. And of course, he's like, I'm not coming outside. I'm standing right here. And the guy was like, hey, listen, it's a cop right there. Like, you could talk to me or you could talk to them. So he's standing in the doorway and Mary is behind him. She's a cute little thing. Anyway, I shouldn't say little, short. So they start asking him about communicating. And their excuse at the time was that that their friend also uses the phone. But before that, he says that no, it was somebody who was 18. So if it's your friend, how do you know your friend is talking to an 18-year-old on your said phone? And then he asked them, does your friend have pictures of you in the nude? And they were both like, yes. Unless they're swingers, give me a break. Why would your friends have multiple nudes and why would they use your nudes to communicate with a minor? Correct, proud mama. I do too. But I wasn't prepared to talk about theirs until I saw it for myself. And I watched it a couple of times. And I'm telling you this because the story has now changed completely for Mark. And now he is strictly blaming Mary. If anybody knows who Mary is, please reach out to her and I'd love to talk to her because the idea that he gets to go around these TikTok streets blaming her without taking any accountability for the fact that he didn't say that originally. He didn't turn to her and say, Mary, what are they talking about? If it was all Mary and you were as stunned as everybody else, you didn't seem stunned. You didn't ask Mary what was going on. You started off by saying that you were communicating with someone who was 18. And when you realized you were caught, then you tried to blame it on friends who also use your phone. I'm sorry. Everybody has a phone. Why did they need to use yours long enough to communicate with a minor? I can see somebody being like, my phone died. Can I borrow yours real quick? But to use yours to communicate with a minor and then you have no idea, do you look in your phone? Because that's the phone number that was used to send your nudes. So you mean to tell me you have a friend to use your phone that long that they're able to go through, get your nudes, send them to somebody, and you don't recognize that? Be so for real. Now that I have seen the video, it makes perfect sense why the carnival was like, nah, you gotta kick rocks. Like, it would be one thing if he acknowledged it, said he went and got some help for it, whatever. But for you to then just put it off on Mary, who I don't know if she has social media or not, but it's real easy to do that because she isn't there to defend herself. But you also notice that when people start asking about that, he gets flustered and frustrated and is ready to go. Oh, I'm not going to get, it's nothing but trolls in here. I'm going to go. And then, of course, he doesn't ever go the first time. Oh, I'm sorry. What did the chat say? Because I don't read the chat. Oh, let's see. Where's Alaska King? I don't see the comment, guys. Oh, wait. Let's keep going. I hear that this channel had thrown out false information about me, so I'm here to discuss it. Who are you, Alaska King? I don't recognize your name. So you gotta say who you are. Because if that's the name you go by, I have never said a word about you. Well, you know, there's that little campaign to try to get me taken out. Oh, that's the name he goes by, Alaska King? Then, yeah, you can kick rocks. Never heard of you, never watched you, never said a word about you. Now, if you give me the name that I might know you by, I can tell you exactly what I said. But you're not going to derail me. So, miss me with the BS. Either you have something to say or you don't. Right. And then they're going to go and cry and be like, her gang stalked me. Listen, stay quiet. Let me give that piece of advice to everybody. If you don't want people to check for you, stay quiet. DM me if you have a problem, and we can go back and forth. But if you come in here and throw out allegations and aren't willing to back them up, aren't willing to come up here and let's have a conversation, just be quiet. Just be quiet. Dee Dee is not drinking. Wait a minute. Somebody said that I drink. Oh, Lord. Do you even know him? He never been talked about. I don't know him. I have never heard of an Alaska King before. If you didn't say it, you didn't say it. That is all. But see, Alaska King, you came here with your whole chest accusing me of something. That's the problem. And you automatically believe somebody else because of what I do. Stop being used by people. Facts. Now I am going to watch you. Thanks. But okay. Don't go back and forth with them, y'all, because that's what they looking for. Let them be. You're welcome to stay Alaska King so that you will get an understanding of how I do what I do and why I do it. Okay? You will come to understand that when it is just my opinion, I'll say it's just my opinion. And everybody has a mouth, everybody has an opinion. This is mine. But what you will also understand is that my opinion is informed not by what anybody else tells me, but what I see for myself. Okay, well, see your way out the door. That's fine. Goodbye. Now, for the people who are here for all of the right reasons, and if anybody is unfamiliar with me, if you've come in for the first time, stick around for a little while and you'll get a chance to understand that I don't just talk out of the side of my face. Now, do I disassociate from what some people in awareness do? 110%. Do I think they go too far? Yes. Do I think they just throw stuff out without any proof and hope it lands? Yes. It is why I say that I raise the consciousness and not, I'm awareness, because I don't want to be associated with the parts of awareness that are in fact toxic. But we don't have that here. So don't worry about going back and forth with Alaska King. Don't even say their name anymore. That's what they come in for, and you get what you ask for. So don't worry about them. Let's go back to regularly scheduled programming. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. And the other thing, anybody who's been in here for any length of time also knows that when I'm wrong, I am prepared to be corrected. If I find out for myself that I'm wrong, I will come in here and apologize and say I was wrong. That is the difference between me and other people who have to be right no matter what. I don't have to be right. I absolutely can be wrong. I'm a human being. Right? I'm a human being. So expect that I'm going to make mistakes. I accept that about myself. So that's why I don't have a chip on my shoulder that if I'm wrong and someone says that I'm wrong, provide me the proof that I'm wrong, show me where it is that I was wrong, and I will come here. In fact, I did it with Kim when I said that the initial letter she got I thought was fake because of these various reasons. I was wrong. Now, it wasn't an eviction. It was a notice of their plans to end her lease. So she was saying it was an eviction paper, but it wasn't. But I still came here and said, you know what, guys, I was wrong. It was real. I saw it in her paperwork. I apologize. But now she's getting evicted. But I came here and I expressed the fact that I was wrong. When you don't have a chip on your shoulder, when you don't need to be the smartest person in every room, you have no problem with that. I'm old enough to know that I'm not going to always get it right, and I'm not ashamed of that. So if you are new, thank you for joining the team. Everybody, if you can, hit the heart me if you are a member of the team, because clearly we know we have people who aren't happy with what I do. And they especially don't like me because they can't pin me to the wall. But it is what it is. So, back to Mark Russell. So, he was asking for $100 for a phone bill and a bus ticket to get out of this small town. And I was like, what has he been doing while he's been there? It's been a couple of days. And then I think I told y'all that he said that he was an F up, right? And his phone was about to get cut off and he needed $60. Well, it turns out that he paid, I think he said 10 something, and it gave him 10 days of service. Because when someone said, can you call 211, he was like, I'm not going to be able to make that phone call if my phone is off. Well, now that his phone had 10 more days, somebody said, did you call 211? And what did he say? It's crap. They don't have no resources. You didn't say you called, though. He said that no one is bringing awareness that we're just trolls. Then he said other TikTokers are getting $200 to $300 a day. If they are beggars, we're trying to stop them too. Now, if you get up here and battle, I have said already that I think that that is just TikTok sanctioned begging, but I don't address them. People in them circumstances know they're just giving you money for you begging to win. I don't care. But why don't some of them want to do that? Because they have to share that dough with TikTok. They get 50% or less of the gifts. And because he can't get into his PayPal, what would be the point of him battling? He couldn't get the money if he tried. Now, he claims that he can't verify his identity. But this is where I call cap. Because even if the ID he had is a Virginia address, if that's what he puts as his address within TikTok and then shows them that ID, you have verified yourself. So you mean you done traveled everywhere across this country and you don't have no ID? Or is it not valid any longer? But with all the money you've gotten, you didn't think, well, maybe it's a good idea that I go get an ID. Even if you're homeless, there's a way. Oh, thank you. Facts. He travels more than me. I agree. So somebody paid for him to have a hotel room. He still needs to pay for the phone bill and the bus ticket. I later learned that he walked into a random church, fed them his sob story, and they put him in a hotel room. claiming he only got $2 the day before. I'm like, but somebody gave you a hotel room. That's at least between $50 and $100. You don't even sound thankful. And I put, it's the audacity for me. Because he said, I've been on for 30 minutes and haven't gotten a dime. That's odd. What? And all I could say is if this economy gets any tighter, y'all are going to have a hard time getting any money from anybody. My suggestion is that you figure out what services you have access to, because the money's going to run dry even if people want to give it to you, because they're going to be concerned about what they're going to have at the end of the month. You aren't a member of anybody's budget. Nobody's going to think, well, Nick is going to need $30, so let me add that to my recurring monthly budget. No. Oh, thank you, thank you. So then on the 6th in the morning, he pops up from another hotel. How did he get that hotel? Same way. He claims that he was walking to try to get out of the town, but ended up on this dark road, and there was a church and they were having Bible study. He decided to go in for Bible study and told the pastor his situation, and the pastor got him a hotel room for $75. Now, people immediately were like, did you go to church beforehand? And he was like, yes. I just haven't found a church to go to. Sir, you were in South Dakota for a long time. I never heard you mention that you went to church. He didn't care nothing about that Bible. No, I don't believe so. Because then, wasn't it convenient that the pastor was talking about helping others? And then he said the pastor practiced what he preached. How convenient. How convenient. And how convenient that you had to tell us. Except I'm not a preacher. And when people are like, well, if you have a hotel room, why don't you get a job? And he was like, I'm not going to get a job with a roller bag. Let me tell you something. If you can go into a church and explain your circumstances and get money, why can't you go on a job interview and do the same? You're in this small town. And usually small towns, they are less concerned with corporate agendas, right? Find the little mom and pop shop, find the local gas station, whatever. But no, he doesn't want to be there. He wants to be in a bigger city like Houston so that he can continue to live off of people. Because my thing is this. Yes, according to him, the mission cut his hours down, but they didn't cut them to nothing. He had housing. He had, at the very least, a part-time job. Why couldn't he have gotten a second part-time job and he would have had housing and money? But the moment he told TikTok he got a job, and I mean his audience, the money dried up. And he couldn't stand for that. So let me convince them that I need to leave the state so I could go to a carnival. And then the first carnival, he claimed that it wasn't a sure thing, even though I saw video evidence of the contrary. Live, by the way. I was watching him live. He then convinces people to give him a hotel room until he can go to the next carnival he's been hired from. And then, lo and behold, after being there for 3 or 4 days and working hard, they kicked him out. They ran him off, as are his words. But when you pay as close attention as I do, he claimed he was looking for a McDonald's. He was standing on this lonely, dark street looking for a McDonald's. He ended the live, came back less than 5 minutes later, sitting in said McDonald's after someone sent him $22. It is my opinion that he was standing across the street. He might have even been in the McDonald's parking lot. Because how did you suddenly find it that fast? They say anything. They don't even think about, is this plausible or not? They just say anything. Now, this is my thing. When he said he was trying to get out of the town and he was walking and he ended up on this deserted road. Sir, Google Maps is free. Google Maps is free. I'm going to say it again. So if you are trying to get from point A to point B by walking, there is no way you end up on a little dirt road in the middle of nowhere. Unless Google Maps says that's how you get to a main road. Google Maps is free. Oh, yeah. But it's Mary's fault. He can miss me with the BS. And then somebody named D Blacks commented. And again, Mark had the audacity to say, I'm surprised you haven't sent me anything in a while. And I wrote, how rude. And when someone said, get a job, he said, begging for money on TikTok is working. Awareness pages are begging too. I am a problem. Oh, you're somebody who just created that account. Don't at them. Don't at them. They have one follower and they're following two people. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. And that's when he announced that he paid the 1070 for 10 days of his cell phone. He uses Straight Talk. Now, did I call every company and ask, do you have a Mark Russell? No, he told us he uses Straight Talk. He told us that he paid $10. It's probably Mark, could be, because he now knows about me because somebody sent him a link to me. Sir, if you want to see everything I've said about you, go to my YouTube channel. It's Digital Deceivers Shadow on YouTube. You can watch all that I've done. Now, what is interesting is that I have been following him closely, right? All of a sudden, the story pops up that small town because somebody called, he got picked up, put in the psych ward, and then just dropped off there. Dropped off there. What? Like, when did this even happen? Because I was there when you said they ran you off. Yeah, they are desperate for attention. Don't act them back, because that's what they're looking for. Don't bother. Just let them flail in the wind. Nobody cares what they talking about. So he left the hotel because he didn't come on until almost 11. And the next thing you know, he's in a restaurant drinking coffee. And he's hoping to raise money to get where he can get his life together. Somebody named Live, Laugh, Love said that they would help, but he has to break this cycle. Tell me where at any point in time he has shown anybody that he's prepared to break the cycle. What he wants is a handout, not a hand up. Because a hand up would have been to stay in South Dakota and figure out how to make it work. He actually sat on live calling the various places he got food stamps from, called to find out if he got any money on said food stamp cards. And there were like 3, if not 4. And am I making that up? No, because I watched it live for myself. Oh, thank you for the heart, me. If you like what I'm doing, join the team. That's it, that's all. Gifts are not mandatory. They are appreciated because it lets me know that you appreciate the time and the amount of dedication I apply. But I then turn around and gift people who I think are doing the good work. Anybody that's been in the comment section with me can attest to that. Then he said, "Come on, guys. I need some donations. Come on, y'all." And he said, "I love all of you." I just wrote LOL. Be for real, sir. And he kept doing a lot of, "I'm not getting anything on here, I'm getting off. I'm not getting on here and I'm getting off." But then he would stick around. Now, I feel like he does that because the moment he says he's getting off, his numbers start to drop. And in his estimation, that would be the trolls dropping, and now he could just talk to his people. But I stick around until it actually goes away, or there is someone else that I want to watch more of than him, or I just got something to do. Because sometimes I need to touch grass. Oh, you got to see the butterfly gift. Thank you. Yes, he started cursing people out. Now, and that's why I made sure that I mentioned that he said that he loved everybody. Because next thing you know, he's cursing everybody out. So now he needs $150 for a hotel and a bus ticket. Shout out to CJ. Then he said he will do any kind of work as long as he's willing to do any kind of work. And I wrote, as long as that video is still floating around, it's going to be a struggle. And I wrote, he is mad that someone sent $10. Then he started with the, I'm done. Nobody is effing helping. I need a room and a bus ticket, and nobody is helping. This city has no resources. Then he does his famous, if everybody in here just sent $1, I can get a hotel room and a bus ticket out of here. Where are you going? Oh, his mod is in here? Oh, okay. So, mod for Mark, help me understand. Oh no, we don't battle around here. Help me understand how you think that you are helping a grown, able bodied man to continue to beg people for money on here for his every need when he did not need to be in the situation that he is in. He chose this. He rejects every single suggestion that would help him get out of the situation because he needs to be the smartest person in the room. The only assistance he will accept is to his, what is it, Venmo and CA? Or whatever it is that he has. Why is he calling states he's lived in to see if he's getting any food stamps? Why is he lying to people that he can't get anything done without an ID when you can be homeless and receive food stamps, etc.? When he told his audience that he needed either hotel receipts or a lease to establish permanency in Texas, he left out the line that said that it could be a letter from a family member or a friend. Isn't that convenient? Favorite Depot, I appreciate your honesty that you only helped him one time and he modded you. But I want you to think about this. I respect mods who delete and block nasty comments. That's completely and utterly disgusting. And I know that some of the comments, I cringe because the only thing that does is make them more sympathetic. The only thing that does is let everybody know that they're being bullied. And I do not believe in that. I don't get down with that. I tell the audience here that if you want to be associated with me and I see that you do that in a chat, you're out. But what he expects is for his mods to delete block the truth. Favorite Depot, have you seen the video that everyone is talking about? Because that video makes clear that this whole it's Mary's fault is patently false. His reaction at the time tells you everything you need to know. Now, I'm not mad that you gave to him before you understood, because that's how a lot of us came to awareness. Because we gave thinking that we were saving somebody, and then 3 weeks later, they're doing the exact same thing. Hey guys, I'm drinking water. Just in case anybody misunderstands. Nick is in the situation he's in because Mark is in the situation he's in because he decided that he didn't want to have to work. He would love to be a content creator and earn money on here. But the problem is you have to actually have some content. Getting on here and asking for money isn't content. People are now, when I tell you that people love the drama, they absolutely do. They love to support people who are controversial. Look at Ash Trevino and all of her nonsense, and the fact that her kids are sharing a blow up mattress that has tape on it when she's walking around with Louis and designer this and designer that. And when she goes live and whatever, she gets gifts hands down, especially when she's battling. People love it. But that's not even what Mark does. He literally gets on here and says, I need you to get me a bus ticket. I need you to pay for a hotel room. I need you to pay my cell phone bill. My thing is this: why do you have a $60 cell phone bill? Why do you need such a high internet rate? You get what you can afford. But he wants to live like everybody else on everybody else's dime. So, Depot, do me a favor. Stick around. Good morning.
Hey, oh, that guy, what's his name? Depot?
Mm-hmm.
Favorite Depot. How come I just, he said he, in the comments, he said he's helped Mark once. What has he helped him do?
I think he gave him money.
That's, yeah, because he's not answering the question.
Yeah, I think it's just that he gave them money. And Mark will respond to anybody who gives him money because he sees them as a cash cow that he can go back to again and again and again.
And I just don't understand. Sorry for interrupting, but I just don't understand why these people give money to.
Because they think they're helping, Sassy. They think that they're helping. That's why. And some people aren't as perceptive as some others, so that they think when he's there and he's saying he's been on the street for days and his cold clothes smell and he hasn't showered, they're like, you know what? I got $50. I got $25. Let me help him out. And maybe if I help him out and then other people match it, he'll be good. When they are initially giving, they don't understand that the person they're giving to is a perpetual beggar. It might be the
But
first or second time they saw them.
they should, before just throwing their money, watch, not just go in and, I don't know, it's just me. I just I go into rooms and I look at all the rooms and read all the conversations. And I've never gave money because if I'm going to give money, it's going to be to a local charity.
Yep, and I get it. I get it. But not everybody comes to it as swiftly as others. And so I
True.
appreciate them being here. I appreciate them, you know, basically saying, this is what I did and now I'm a mod. And I'm hoping that if they stick around and they get to hear me talk about other people, they'll see the pattern.
And I feel like it's to be a mod for that. They feel like it's a power trip too.
For some of them, absolutely. But somebody like Mark
Oh,
will mod somebody in 2 seconds if they gave them money. Thank you. So that they start to feel obligated to take care of him. It's all a game. And some people haven't had enough experience with people like him to see it, unfortunately. But hopefully, being here, he'll get it.
it's sad.
It is sad. But
But the
that's why
thing,
we do what we do, because not everybody sees it as clearly as we do.
favorited. You're the guilty one. Sarah's not guilty at all. This, I'm gonna drop down because.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good
Cooking
morning.
with Crime. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I've been better. I was involved in a real bad car wreck and had to have surgery on my arm and wrist Friday, and I caught COVID while I was there. So it's been fun. But I wanted to get up here and say that all of these people can go to assurancewireless.com and they can get a free cell phone that has unlimited 5G data for free every month. As long as you use it once a month, it stays active. And a tablet. They send you a phone and a tablet.
Correct. He just has to have an address to receive it in his particular case. But I agree with you. And so the fact that he wants $60 for a cell phone he can't afford is
Right.
laughable, because he could have, when he was still in South Dakota with an address, he could have gotten all of that. Someone said that to him, and he said, I can't get it because I got it before.
He can still get it.
Of
My
course.
grandmother's had it 4 times now, I think. But she just got it again. If it runs out, you just reapply. But
Correct.
he could actually use the post office as his address.
Correct.
I mean, this is the stuff that digital is trying to make you guys realize. It's very easy to get things done and to get free stuff. It's actually easier to get free and better stuff than the stuff we pay out the wazoo for.
Correct.
I mean, they're going to send you a brand new iPhone or Samsung Galaxy when we're going to go and pay $1,000 for it.
That's right.
So I just wanted to bring that up. And for anybody in the comments, if you get any type of help, go to Assurance Wireless. They're amazing. Their service is great. You'll get a free phone. You can actually pick your phone. I think that's amazing. You get to pick what phone you want. And they'll send you a tablet. So if anybody in the comments is struggling and needs a phone or a tablet for their kid for school or anything, there you go. So I just wanted to throw that resource out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate everything you do. I'm going to hop down. Have a great day, you and everyone else.
Thank you. And I hope you have a swift recovery.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up. Favorite Depot, he might. But in the meantime, it's still a resource. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Not too bad for a Friday. I just wanted to say something I just noticed, and I don't know if that mod is still in here. I didn't even remember
They
what
are.
the name was. Okay, so my question is this. If you go into someone's room, you think that they need help, you donate to them, however it is that you did, they automatically mod at you. You have no clue why. Why would you still stay a mod? You know you can remove yourself as being a moderator. You don't have to be a mod. You can change that as soon as they do that, especially after you find out that this is their quote unquote job, is to scam. So, and I'm going to say why I say that is it was like a year and a half ago when I came back to TikTok after many, many years of not being on TikTok. There was a lady who was having a meltdown saying that she needed her anxiety medication and she did not have money. She had just started a job. And what did I do? I was like, what's your PayPal, girl? I will send you some money so you can go get that medicine. Because when I was younger, it happened to me, right?
What's her name, Christine?
You already know it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I did. And then somebody automatically zoomed into my DMs and was like, oh my God, please tell me you just didn't do that. And I thought they were just being like, whatever. And I'm like, don't tell me how to spend my money. And then that person said, well, go to Mexican Homie and he'll make you understand why. And I did. And I'm very grateful for that person. And I'm grateful for everyone that does nothing but bring awareness to people, because I was very blind to it. Because I'd been gone for so long, I had no freaking idea people were hustling. And it was like a real thing here.
Uh-huh.
But as I kept on following many other people that bring awareness, I saw, oh, wow, these people are really doing this shit, and it's ridiculous.
It is.
Because I've been working in healthcare my whole life. And not one day would I ever think I'm going to sit here and be like, well, I don't want to work today, so let's see how much money I can drag up on the internet. No. So back to what I was saying. Think about it, y'all. If you were in a room and someone automatically made you a mod that you didn't know, why would you want to stay a mod? Why would you want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can unmod yourself. So, yes, you gave to someone. Now you see what the true light is. So just go ahead and take care of yourself, and then nobody will come at you. That's all I'm saying. So,
I agree. Thank
Digital,
you.
thank you for everything that you do. I'm so glad to see y'all. And y'all
Thank
have a great
you.
weekend. Y'all stay safe.
You too. You
Thanks.
too. Thank
Bye.
you. I appreciate it. So, Devo, I'm not sure if you're here, but if you are, oh, yep, you are. Do me a favor. Please stick around so that you can hear me talk about other people and so that maybe you can see the pattern. Because I can understand getting caught on watching this one person, and when you are only focused on that one person, you may not see the signs, but when you start seeing it in everybody, it'll mean something. Everybody, do me a favor, like the live until you feel the heart's tail and then take a break. Because we know that they have people who don't like us. Thank you, guys. Okay, who are we going to do next? Oh, God. Oh, they're not in the right place. Hold on. No. Now, I really do believe that some of them actually watch me or their mods do. And I say that because I say something, and I know this happens with other people who bring attention. You say something, and then within the next live or two, they're doing something different. Basically, what you just said. So we have been saying that getting on here and asking for $70, $80 a day for a hotel room is not content. It's straight begging. And the idea that you expect people to continue to give you that every single day is downright rude. So hold on for a second. Echo, how much is 80 times 7?
80 times 7 is 560.
So he expects people, strangers to him, to give him about $560 a week. Echo, what is 560 times 52?
560 times 52 is 29,120.
So we are talking almost 30 grand a year. Do y'all not realize that that is some people's entire salary for the year? Like, And it's not even their take-home pay. It is their pre-taxed pay. And he expects strangers on the internet to continue to keep him and his girlfriend in a hotel every single day. And I also said, isn't it interesting that he loves these supporters, mods, and scammers so much, but the moment they get the money, they get off. But you want to say that you provide content. So first he started trying to read this book, which, sir, I'm sorry. This isn't meant as a dig, but read a book that is on your intellectual level, because you only make yourself look silly, first of all. And I know he can read and write because he writes his raps and records them. So it's not a question of him being illiterate, but you gotta read at the level that you are comfortable, or else you make yourself look silly. He turned off the comments because he was sick of the trolls, but then he claims his mods begged him and convinced him to put him back on. And you know what they had to agree to? In my opinion, they had to agree that they would step up their game for the trolls. That's the only way that I see that he went back. But that's my opinion. So then, all of a sudden, he's doing a nighttime live. Oh, I'm sure they do, Helen. You got to pay to play in Ty's world. And he's standing outside of a random building with his hat on, his heavy coat on, with his hand go up in front of his mouth, and he's constantly saying, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold out here. And when people are like, where's your girlfriend? He's like, oh, she's inside warm. Inside where? Do you feel, Bonita, some of y'all just out a pickup and talk ish about them? Do you feel, Bonita, stick around for a little while, because you will understand that I don't just wake up in the morning and start talking about them. I actually watch for myself. And I find the bad behavior and I communicate that. That's it, that's all. But you are absolutely welcome to stay. So where was she inside being warm? And if she was inside being warm, how come you couldn't go inside and be warm? You could have still asked for money while you were inside warm, or was it for dramatic purposes? He also now claims that we, as awareness, got his Social Security check taken away. How? How did we get your Social Security check taken away? I know him in that purple water bottle. It cracks me up every time I see him with it. Right. Who said that? Let me see. GDTTT. I agree. Had that actually been gone, he would be losing his mind about it. I agree. I said that the other day. He seems awfully calm for having lost his Social Security check. But it's convenient that he lost it, Because as people were becoming aware of his $967, people are like, well, what do you spend that on? Because you're not paying. And I said this on Wednesday. Why can't you at least pay for 2 weeks and then ask for 2 weeks? So now we no longer have it. And now that explains why we have to come here and beg for everything. I have serious questions. Hold on. Who is wanna bang? Wanna bang? Oh, you believe Ty? Well, no, neither one of them work. Let me just say this, one bang. Her family has said she can come home. He just can't come with her. His mother has said that she has a place for him to be. So if it was you and your woman and she was at risk of being outside, or your man, I'm not sure if you're a man or a woman, would you not make the sacrifice for them to be in a safe, warm environment versus having to depend on strangers to make sure that you're inside, even if it's temporary? Because that's true love. Forcing someone to stay in a very toxic, unsafe environment because you want to be together, but you can't afford to be together, is toxic. That's toxic. How you feeling? I didn't see you come in, love. That's not love. Love is putting the needs of your partner above your desires. There's a difference between need and desire, a need versus a want. You need water, you want soda. You need to eat, you want McDonald's. She needs to be in a safe, warm, comfortable environment. He needs her to be with him regardless of the circumstances. So whether you think that I just pick on them or just make stuff up, I'm old enough to be both of their parents. And if it was my child, we would have to have a serious conversation. They are not married, so they are not obligated to stay in the same place. But even if they were, why wouldn't he sacrifice what he deems his needs are, but they're really wants, and prioritize her actual needs? But again, if she was inside warm and comfortable, why weren't you with her? And didn't he say something about, oh, he can't go live where they are? Come on now. It doesn't make sense to me. I agree. I think he was outside of the hotel too. Yeah, his mama didn't help because he thought that getting disability as a child made him incapable. Mason Jelly, another comment like that is you're going to get booted, okay? We don't do politics here. We just do facts. Let's not do that. Yeah, they are very entitled. And what gets me is when they're like, guys, we only need 77. Well, y'all just heard what giving him between 70 and $80 will cost them. And y'all think that that's okay. Y'all think it's okay that strangers give them the equivalent of a salary when his Social Security check gave him a little less than $12,000 and food stamps and Medicaid. Right. I only need $10 from 7 people. And when he starts having a hard time, he'll be like, so nobody has 764? Nobody has 764? Sir, you pay attention to the economy because you're always talking about it. No, people don't have 764 to give to a stranger. They may have a grandmother, a grandfather, a child with needs who they're looking at losing the services that they already get. But you guilt trip people into giving you even their last. Because to me, you are talking to a woman who is also homeless with her children in a hotel, leaving a DV situation, and she tells you she only has a couple dollars, but she feels like you need it more than her, and you take it anyway? So you feel like you and your girlfriend's needs supersedes the needs of a child? Anybody with any integrity would be like, ma'am, you know what? I can't take your money. You got 2 kids and you're going to need it eventually. So guess what? I have too much integrity to take your dough. Is that Ty's attitude? Absolutely not. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, guys, even somebody who's homeless can help. So y'all can help. What? But y'all don't see a problem with that? Somebody was in their comments the other day saying, what do you do? Like, how do you give back? What do you do to give back? Guess what? All of that got ignored. All of it got ignored. And then for him to be like, she can't get a job because she doesn't have ID. Well, this is my problem with that. You mean to tell me you haven't gotten enough money in all this time to go and get her an ID? Why don't you fundraise for that? You fundraise for everything else. Angel, I agree. It is free. But okay, let's say it's $60. You ask for between 70 and 80 a day. If all she needs is an ID to actually get a job so that you guys can become even more self-sufficient, and the only barrier is getting an ID, that's the only barrier. But I promise when she gets the ID, he'll come up with a new barrier. Oh, nobody wants to hire her because of XYZ. But if she could go to school every day, she can get a job. If he can get online, beg for money, read stories, make music, at the very least, he could stand at the Walmart entrance and welcome people in. At the very least. There are jobs that are not complicated. In fact, people with disabilities, because at one point in time in my life, I had a job where I cared for a woman who was intellectually and behaviorally deficient. And we took her every morning to a day program, and the day program took her to work. Now, was she doing complex equations? No. But they found her something to do so that she could fill her time. Every state has resources to assist you to moving from point A to point B. But you actually have to do something to get it. You actually have to work for it. You actually have to show up. You have to get up, take a shower, get dressed, and leave the hotel room. But of course, he doesn't want to do that. And I'm going to tell you that when the train leaves the station and it's already started, it's chugging, it's way out of there. What are they going to do? If you go to my page, I posted about the damage that giving money to people, strangers, does. It takes money out of your pocket, which is the first problem. But the second problem is that you make them reliant on this avenue of income. TikTok becomes their ATM. The problem is that everybody's going to find a new shiny toy, a new set of people who are in more need than you, and they're going to switch that attention to somebody else. And then what are you going to do? So keep on if you want to. I got unconditional truth for them. Okay. Oh, wait. So he does that nighttime thing, right? And then what does he do last night? He goes live playing a video game. Are you trying to show TikTok that you make content now, Ty? Kit Kat, unfortunately, he's not going to do it until he has to. And for Bree's sake, I hope that she wakes up one day and realizes that her life could actually be better. That is what I am hoping. She deserves better. She deserves more. And, the Bible talks about bad association spoils useful habits. Very rarely does the good person rub off on the bad person. It is usually the other way around. And he has, in my opinion, narcissistic tendencies. And most narcissists, if not all, are manipulative. They will love bomb you, put you on a pedestal, knock you off, and then build you back up. So that you come to understand that your self-worth is tied into their approval or disapproval. And so if he says to you, going back home to your family is a bad idea, it could end our relationship, well, that's your lifeline. So of course you're not going to go. And when he says, I can't work and you can't work, but he's providing for you to have a place every day, then okay, you're right. Just know that it's going to come to an end. And what are your plans then? And my other question is, if you haven't been paying for your hotel room for what is it, like 4, 5, 6 months now? What did you do with your Social Security check all that time? Where did it go? What did you spend it on? Because you qualify for food stamps and Medicaid, so you weren't paying for medical, you weren't paying for food. Let's move on. He's annoying. I can't even front. He is annoying. He's another one who thinks that he is the smartest person in the room. He has an answer for everything. And you can't provide him with any advice. He knows it all already. Oh, sorry. You missed Brian Ty. I honestly don't know if he got his gas money. Remember that he told us the other day that people who are bringing light to him are signing his unaliving warrant, and we don't care. And he said that he hopes we fall down the stairs. And then he shouted out Sammy Claus, which I thought was cute. Hope you're happy, Sammy Claus. And he starts talking about his rare blood disorder. So that's why he can't donate plasma, which, oh, okay. He's upset that people were able to figure out where he was. And he tried to like stumble across those trees that were used to help identify where he was are everywhere. However, shout out to Texas Tiff. She didn't just identify where you were. She spoke to the people at the pilot that you're sitting at and found out that, yes, they're sick of you. They want you to leave, but you haven't done anything illegal. But you have met with police and Border Patrol, and they're waiting for you to make a mistake. So now, Mr. Deplorable himself can offer to sell Sammy Claus's personal information to someone who has legitimately threatened her. But you're mad when somebody finds out where you are. Mind you, part of why people were able to figure out where you are is because the stuff you said. Again, if you don't want us to know anything, stop telling us stuff. We are brighter than you think. And Two heads put together is better than one sitting in a car. The moment you told us the temperature, we were able to figure out where you were not, and then we were able to narrow down where you must be. And when you realized you did that, you just said, oh, well, yeah, I'm in Texas. But you said other things that led us to believe that you were close to water. And Texas Tiff, being former military and former police, White Sox, you gotta move, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to wake you up. She used her skill set to figure you out. I'm sorry that upset you. Oh, really? That's cold for Texas. Now you claim White Sox. Nobody. Okay. Please leave the phone alone, buddy. Thank you. Now you claim that you're leaving that area. Do I believe it? No. And I'll tell you why. Because he's still stuck on that lady. They're supposed to be getting together today, I believe. And he claims that the reason why she left before was because she got called into work. I have no way of knowing if that's accurate or not. I just thought it was an interesting tidbit that he told us, because he will then get mad later when people are able to put two and two together and find the lie, as if he didn't come out of his mouth and say the words himself. We only know what we know because of either what you've shown or what you've said. I do not spend time going real life and trying to, track somebody down by triangulating their cell phone. No. But when you tell us enough, we're able to figure it out. We're smart. I tell you all the time, a curious woman is better than the CIA and the FBI put together. I don't know why the FBI isn't run by women, because when we want to know something, we will dig and dig and dig and not sleep until we find it. They need some real women up there. We be solving cases left and right. But I told y'all also in that live that he told people to look up whether or not he could get services without an address. And boy, was he mad when people came back and were like, well, you told us to look it up. Now, I've been saying it for weeks. But he was unhappy because he set himself up. So now he's leaving and he's going someplace else, and he doesn't want anybody to know where he's going. Right, Tammy. He always has reasons for why he can't do certain things. And then you watch him do certain things, and it's like, well, is it really a problem? And just for the record, while Social Security is a federal program, most of what you have to do to get it is local. And I actually looked this up, but there is not a consistent rate of approval across all states. Some states, it is a lot easier to get approved for Social Security than others. So that while it might be easier to get approved in West Virginia for something, you go to Idaho and you're going to get rejected every time. And I'm just making up those places. There are actually places in the country that are more likely to give you an approval than others. So just saying that because I was approved means I can't do anything, that's not the case. The medical records, and if you had to provide testimony in front of a judge, and especially if you have a good attorney, are all determining factors. And the judge you have at present is who makes that decision. And then once you have it, you periodically have to provide updates on your health. So let's say he got it for this blood disorder. Well, if he still has the blood disorder and his medical records indicate that, then he gets to keep it. But getting that doesn't mean you can't work. It means that if you do work, you can only make a certain amount. And for every dollar over that, they take $1 of the Social Security. Now, where they are all playing with fire, and shout out to Kim Peters for letting us see this in real time, they consider TikTok income. At $600, TikTok lets the IRS know. The IRS will then inform Social Security. And if you haven't disclosed it, guess what? They're going to come around asking questions. Good morning. And they're not just considering TikTok gifts. They are also looking at the amount you get on your apps of cash and her cousins. They want to know who gave it to you, why they gave it to you, and sometimes they want to know what you spent it on. So keep collecting money, Sean, under false pretenses. Yes, if they give him money for a hotel, yes, he can go in the hotel and show you that that's where he is. That's not the scam. That's not the scam. And everybody asking for money isn't a scammer. Let's be careful for 1 hour Saturday at 2 a.m. Why? Because it's spring forward. The only time I ever got to truly enjoy that was when I was in a nightclub on the night of the change. And so just when they were doing last call, not last call, just when they should have been shutting down, the clocks moved forward and we got an extra hour. Other than that, spring forward. Yeah, okay. Spring forward, fall back. That's how I remember it. That's the only time I actually ever enjoyed the change. Oh, it was lit. It was lit. I was tired though, because I was used to leaving at 2. Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people like that it's light later. Oh, we were. We had one of the best DJs from from the New York radio station. Oh my goodness. Tipton's was lit Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No. Um yes, I guess we lose an hour. It goes forward. So when it's 2 o'clock, it'll now be 3 o'clock. That's right. Spring forward, fall back. So Sean, I'll be watching. Oh, I know what I was saying. Let's use the correct words. So there are scammers. Lisa, who says she needs money for food and cigarettes, but we know she's actually using it for something else. There are beggars. Sean is a beggar where they want their daily expenses to be covered by strangers. And then there are just liars. People who get up here and lie about stuff they don't even need to lie about. And sometimes they're not even asking for money, but they're just liars. Shout out to Ash Trevino. And then you have creeps. And I think, because so many have been popping up, that I might add them to the list of people I discuss. People like Barry, people like Pastor Mike. You're doing stuff on this app that should get you deleted. And the more people we make aware of them, the more people can report their nonsense. And hopefully TikTok will stick to their word. Correct. Like Barry. He is a creep to me. So, and we might do that during our digital after dark hour on, I believe we're going to do Saturday nights. Yeah, he probably is. He probably is. Like, sir, again, you don't have a pot to piss in, but you're trying to be romantically linked to a woman. Like, ma'am, your self esteem has to be low to want a homeless man living in his car with no prospects and a pipe dream. And the reason why I say that is because at this moment in time, being in a relationship should not be a priority at all. Getting your life together should be what you're spending your time on the internet doing, not floating through dating apps. I'm sorry. And when you have the time and the energy to do that, then you are not as desperate as you are letting everybody think. Because when you're in the gutter, the goal is to get out of the gutter. And a real man, a gentleman, doesn't look for a woman to pull him out the gutter. He pulls himself out the gutter. Because guess what happens? The moment the woman pulls him out the gutter, he doesn't really want to be out of the gutter. So he's drawing you into his gutter. And yes, you might live at your home so that he's no longer living in his car. But if you think that he's going to get out there and make more money because he's increased your expenses, he's not. He's going to say, you knew I was in the gutter? So I don't understand what you're asking of me. I'm a gutter dweller. And how do we know? Because we listened to his girlfriend of, what was it, 12 years, 10 years, whatever it was, and nothing about him has changed. He talked about the fact that he doesn't have to respect the women who bring light to him because he has no respect for him. I can concur without even talking to him that we don't have any respect for you either. Okay? I believe that you are a deplorable, vile human being. And I promise that if a man was mad at his daughter and said those same things to her, he would not find it amusing. He would not find it acceptable. But because he's mad that people are bringing light to his nonsense and preventing him from continuing to take people for their hard-earned cash, we're not ladies. We don't deserve respect. Okay, sir. Cool. I'll meet you where you are. I'll meet you where you are. Oh, yeah, they will take from anybody. And they do not care. They don't care if it was a mistake. They don't care if it was your last. They don't care if they take your whole check. As long as they are on the winning end of the interaction, they do not care. Are they really mad that we're talking about them? No. What they're really mad about is that we're slowing their money down. And I always say, when you stop, I'll stop. When you're no longer on here begging for money for your every need, I will move on. But until then, you'll be on my list of people to watch, and I'm going to keep watching. Who is next? Wait, have I said everything I want to say about him? Yes. Okay. It's open mic, so I'm trying to get through as quickly as possible. Now, she wasn't originally on my list for today, but then I listened to her last night and I was like, I have to put her back. I have to add her to today's list. And I actually took somebody else down. Because I predicted what was going to happen, and it is happening, and she is freaking out. So if you recall, the last time that I talked about her, it revolved around one of her children having a birthday party and the chat literally paying for everything, from the decorations to the pizza to the cake to the soda or pop as she refers to it, to all of his gifts. Everything was paid for by people in her chat. And I said, what is going to happen when we get to a child who's going to have a birthday and the people in the chat stop giving money? How is that going to play out? And guess what? That's happening for the very next birthday. The birthday was yesterday, the party is tomorrow, and she can't get people to fund everything. And so now her child, according to her, is saying that he is upset because the other child got everything paid for, and the only thing he's going to get is a cake because nobody in her chat paid for the pizza, the decorations, etc. Now, did I know that was going to happen? Or when it was going to happen? No. But I know how things work. I've been living on this earth long enough to know. Did I expect it to happen so quickly? No. But I love it when I'm right. Even when it is just my opinion. I love it when I'm right. And I feel sad for this child. And when I wrote down, all I said was, I called it. Anybody who was here then will attest that I called it. Oh, she is the dry begging queen. For sure. So now we have this new party that she brought up a few days ago. Because I was watching. Now she claims that she wasn't able to get everything because she wasn't able to get online this time like she was last time because she was recovering from some mouth surgery around her teeth. But when I say there's no too low, there's no too low. So she starts talking about a man that's in her house. That he comes there every day, that he drinks her sodas, he eats her snacks. And then she tells the chat that He's given her money in the past. He's helped her out in the past. But he's autistic. And he's not helping her anymore. I only needs $89.99 today. Let's see if they get it. So she says the man is autistic. But now she thinks he's weird, and the kids think he's weird. And so they don't want him to come back. But she's trying to be nice. Or are you upset that he's no longer giving you money out of his check? How dare you take money from an autistic person? But the moment he doesn't have the money to give you anymore, now you don't feel like you need to tolerate him. There's no too low. There's no too low. And then several people in the comments were calling her a scammer. And this is why I say be careful with the words that you use, because she's able to deny that. Because if she says it's a party and she shows you the party, then that wasn't a scam. But what she is the dry begging queen. She claims she doesn't ask for money. She's just promoting the Amazon wish list. Now help me understand, what's the difference? Because, okay, you're promoting an Amazon wish list. How do you get the things off the wish list? By people's money. So what do you mean you're not asking for money? Make that make sense. And when I tell you she will bring it up 100 times, she was up past 1 o'clock this morning. And boy, she got hot when her oldest son was able to show that she was getting streamed. Oh my God. Why do you care? You want your Amazon wish list. If somebody was streaming me, I would be like, well, thanks for streaming me, and anybody who would like to contribute to my Amazon wish list can do so. I mean, why get mad about it? You only reveal your true colors when you do that. But what you are afraid of is that people, by streaming you, more people will understand that what you do is dry beg for everything. You expect everything for your children's birthdays to get paid for. And the problem is that the moment those very people aren't funding it, that's the child that gets their feelings hurt. And then she started calling people out like Juju. Juju bought all the pizzas for the last party. So you were telling us that to try to convince Juju to do it again? Why is it any of our business what Juju did? Why are you calling her out? But of course she wasn't doing that. She was just saying that that's what happened before. It sounded like shot fired to me. And then she does a battle with someone from her chat. I guess as a way of giving people the opportunity to give her money without giving her money. And Juju sends her a money gun and she's like, oh my God, thank you. But guess what? That's not going to be in time for the party. That she won't get that until next Wednesday. And the party is Saturday. And the friend that was letting her use her CA, well, they aren't friends anymore, so don't use that. Good morning. White Sox. Somebody said good morning. You too sleepy to talk? Okay. Go back to sleep. Let's not wake him up. Go back to sleep. She then said she hasn't asked for anything. And then she says, I have an electric bill that's $42 and some change. I'm not asking for you to pay for it, even though it's going to be cut off in 7 days or whatever it was. The fact that you told us the amount, the fact that you told us that it was going to be cut off by a certain time is in fact dry begging, my dear. If you just said, I have bills and I haven't asked you to pay for them, that's one thing. But when you are specific, when you are in the amount, you are giving us a deadline, or else you and your family are going to be without any electricity, it's dry begging. When you have to point people to your child's Amazon wish list so that they can get at least the decorations, they could at least give him the cards that he wants to be able to play Roblox and Xbox or whatever it was 100 times. That's dry begging. And then she said, I'm just pushing his wish list. Everybody on here has an Amazon wish list. Ma'am, no we don't. No we don't. Oh, Ty is watching. Welcome in, Ty. I do on Detroit. I haven't recently because there have been other people, but I do watch him as well. And you get an apartment and now you're gonna tell everybody you're bored? Go sit down. Everybody does not have an Amazon wish list. Everybody does not need to push out an Amazon wish list to give their children what it is that they think they need. That's what you do. That might be what your community does. But the rest of us, no, we don't. Now, if you are, let's say you just moved into your first apartment and you have nothing. You're getting ready to have a baby and you have nothing. But to demand that people provide for your children to have a birthday party, and she has a lot of kids, it's either like 5 or 7 or something like that. Do you know how much money that would be? And then you want to dry beg about your electric bill? Girl, bye. Miss me on that. And she's like, I'm already poor. I already don't have anything. And my boyfriend works even though I don't. Okay. Then live within your means. Anything that the kids get off of the internet is extra. But if all you can do is provide a cake and drinks, that's what all of the kids get until you can afford better. Don't call her a scammer. Don't call them a scammer unless they're scamming. If they're a beggar, call them a beggar. If they're a liar, call them a liar. But be more careful with your wording because they're able to turn the word on you, and we all know what you mean by it. But they will turn the word around on you and make you look like the bad person when you're not. Call her the dry begging queen of TikTok. She for sure deserves that title. I have never, oh, thank you. Thank you, honey. I have never seen anybody dry beg as hard as she does. And at the same time claim she's not asking for anything. Never in my life. Okay. Okay. Last person before we do open mic. I'm pausing because I don't even know where to begin. So I'm in her live and she does this funny thing where she's like, oh, such and such, you're getting ready to lose your subscription services. And then she had a subathon up there. This is my thing. If you're just up here and having a good time and you want to promote your page and you're trying to get subs, that's one thing. But when you try to include the heavy subjects that she talks about to try to connect with an audience who maybe are, what's the word I'm looking for? Their emotions around their situation is raw. So when they come across someone who is talking about similar raw emotions, they will connect on that level. And then you hit them with the sub, and in my sub conversations, we talk about things, and people are able to stay anonymous so that they can feel safe. They have anonymity. I'm labeling that affinity fraud. If you don't know what it is, look it up. Most affinity frauds have to do with um, like, I'm black, I go into a black church, I become a member of the church, I get everybody to like me, and then I convince them to invest in properties that I'm taking care of or in investments. And they connected with me on the fact that I was black and a church member. That's the affinity. And then the fraud comes in when I take your money and then do what I want with it or run off with it. She's not doing it for an investment purpose, but I feel like she is trying to find affinity with all of these different groups and then playing on their raw emotions to get them to sub to her because they think somehow it's this beautiful private thing. Now, I'm going to say this. She could start a Discord and the association is free. Why do you have to sub to her to have these raw, meaningful conversations? What did I write down? And then she said at one point that we're not awareness groups, that we're rudeness groups. Okay, whatever you say. She said that sometimes she's streamed and she wants privacy. Whatever that means. Then she said she's going to make a video about how she broke her arm because every time people come in, they ask her the same question. Now, yes, I already did, Sean. Now, my question is, which story are you going to tell? Are you going to tell the Doug story? Or are you going to tell the dog story? Which one? Who is 6X? Me purse gonna meep? That's his ex? If it is, please stick around. I'm about to do open mic, and I would love to hear what you have to say. Give people insight on the truth behind him. Oh, right. She doesn't want to talk about it because each time she has to remember the lie she told. So now she's going to do a video. Why haven't you done it up till now? And which story are you going to tell? And let's go back to the fact that what she told us when she was telling us that it was a lie was that her therapist told her that she had to rip off the Band-Aid, that what was happening to her had nothing to do with Doug. And then later on, she claimed that her therapist told her that she fell over the dog. How would the therapist know that? How would the therapist have been the one to tell her that that's what happened to her? Can anybody tell me that? Does that make sense to you? When you look at everything that you already know about life, that makes sense to you? It doesn't to me. But she had to do that because she had to try to figure out a way of being able to explain the lie. But all you did was add more lies on top of it. And while some of us aren't as swift, I am. I am. I pick up on every little detail. I pick up when you're lying, you look to the left. I pay attention to everything. You try to talk so slow and kind of slurry, and because what are you trying to think of what to say next? So I said people have to pay to listen to you? Really? And then I wrote down there are tons of accounts on this app that share their trauma and how they got past it without requiring subscriptions. And that's when I wrote down you can create a Discord for the people who want to discuss these heavy topics for free. And this is where she took me left. Have you ever met somebody or seen somebody who loves to add labels to themselves or their life or to their child? They love, like, a new label comes up and they add it to themselves. I believe Gigi does that. That is my opinion. But what she said was she no longer craves intimacy because of everything that happened to her. Now, she started this live talking about how, have you ever been in a toxic relationship where, you knew it wasn't healthy for you, but you missed that person? That's how we started. And she said that she was remembering how they met. She was reminiscing, like at one point a song came on and she stops talking and she's like, I'm just reminiscing because this is one of our songs. And she talked about how his name was Jay, because of course, tell everybody's business. And he's 6'6" and 300 pounds. And we know he was from New York because he had a thick New York accent. And she loves a thick New York accent. That is attractive to her. And she said that he made her feel safe. Now, I'm going to be honest. Having been abused in my past, I don't like little men. I like men who command a presence because it makes me feel safer. I'm allowed to not be so paranoid about my surroundings, who's behind me, who's in front of me, because I'm with someone who I know can handle it all. And my boo used to fight MMA. And we live in Florida, the Cary State, capital of the East Coast. I'm not worried. So I understand that part of it, right? So I'll give her that. I feel the same way. And then she talked about that before she was trafficked, she was a Barbie. And then she was like, I'm not really, but I was stunning. And then she told us she came from a very prominent family. And that when she, what did she say happened? She had a bowel obstruction. And so she had to go to the hospital, and she was at Iowa State. Now, I don't know if she meant Iowa State, the college, or she was in the state of Ohio. I'm sorry, Ohio State. I don't know when she said Ohio State if she meant the college or if she meant she was in the state of Ohio. I don't know. But while she was there, they were pumping her full of pain relief because that's very painful. And she says that her mother asked them to stop giving it to her, but they didn't. And that's how she initially got hooked. Right. Stunning like her mugshots. That's how she got hooked. And then she did the thing that made me put my pen down. She declared herself asexual. Oh, Ohio State is the university hospital. Okay. She has now put the label on herself that she is asexual. And I literally wrote down, why does she collect another code word? And then she said her perfect soulmate would be a flaming gay man, because she would know that he wouldn't want to do any schmexual things, but she would be okay with them being together holding hands, because everybody needs the human touch. But literally the next words out of her mouth were, but she doesn't crave human touch. She is perfectly fine being single. So it got me thinking, why would she want this label? And what does this label actually mean? So, here we go. I looked it up. Now, I actually looked up a study. The group chosen was a small sample. It was only like 172 people, but it was 170 people who identified as asexual. And that study found that the number of people who have said that they were asexual and it related to past trauma was not significant. Now, of course, you need a much larger study, but it was interesting. So, being asexual is a lack of a sexual attraction to others or a low interest in sexual activity. They do not have sexual feelings or a desire to engage in it with another person. But that doesn't mean that they lack attraction. They also call themselves aces. May still feel romantically, intellectually, and or emotionally attracted to people of one or more genders. It is a sexual orientation, and it is different from celibacy or a conscious choice to abstain. Okay? So now at the top, I know you might not be able to see it, but it says people only become ace after being rejected or abused. An ace is an orientation and not a choice. When individuals experience abuse, rejection, or fear of those relationships, the response is not defined in the same way as asexuality. Trauma can be confusion and bring up questions about your orientation, identity, and desire. However, by working with a therapist, the trauma can be processed and many of these questions can be worked through, and the therapist can distinguish a trauma response from a medical issue and from ACE orientation. The difference from celibacy and abstinence, or there is a difference. Abstinence is the conscious decision to not have penetrative, you know the rest. On the other hand, celibacy is a vow to not have it under a certain period of time, and I believe under certain circumstances. Like some people will say, I'm going to be celibate until I get married. With both celibacy and abstinence, people experience sexual attraction, but make the choice not to act on it. So I was like, well, what could it be if it's not that? And that's when I find sexual repression. Put simply, it is the experience of being unable to express one's natural sexuality in a fulfilling way. They are repressed. Their urges, drives, and instincts are inhibited. And it is often linked with feelings of guilt and shame associated with sexual impulses. It can include a fear of having it or anxiety after having it. Those who are sexually repressed often have negative feelings about it or believe that having it is wrong. It is not the same thing as being asexual. Let's go to the next page. Now, this is under the category of repression. Past trauma experiences. Trauma, especially sexual trauma, can become a powerful factor in sexual repression. If a child is abused or a teen or an adult is assaulted, that trauma can cause the victim to connect the very idea of having it with feelings of terror and shame, causing them to be afraid of it or repulsed by it. Even thoughts of it can trigger memories and distress, making it difficult, if not impossible, to want to engage, participate, or enjoy it. Even if you have had consensual, if you've had a negative experience, you can become turned off to even trying it again. Yes, for educational purposes only. And I am not a therapist or a psychiatrist. I am not diagnosing anyone. These are the common repression themes: being uncomfortable, experiencing anxiety, difficulty enjoying it, guilt or shame, feeling a sense of grief, shame and distress, negative self-talk, being uncomfortable. Now, this is the definition of what it is, what can cause it. I just thought these were pretty succinct in their description. So, past trauma experiences. Now, it is not to say that in 100% of cases, if you were assaulted, that can't mean that you're not sexual, that you're not an ace. But it is more likely that if you have experienced that trauma, that it is repression rather than asexuality. I believe she's none of the above. Oh, I do too. I do too. But be careful of someone who loves to use labels to describe themselves, okay? That's all I'm saying. Because if she said it was repression, that doesn't sound as good. That doesn't sound as good as all. She also said that her ex was narcissistic. And I was talking to a therapist one time, and she's like, I hate TikTok. And I was like, why? She was like, because every buzzword that comes out, I end up hearing it in therapy sessions. And the word she was talking about at that time was narcissistic. She was like, as soon as people started talking about it, they were identifying as everybody's narcissistic around them. And she was like, that's not even possible. There is a clinical definition of narcissism, and most people do not meet it. But because it was the code word and it made everybody be like, oh, well, if he's narcissistic, we understand why you left. Just because someone says someone's narcissistic does not, in fact, make them narcissistic. They might not have liked their behavior. They may have wished that they did something different, but that doesn't make them a narcissist. Correct. It has lost its meaning. So, Gigi, I'm going to need you to try something else because you are still lying to your people to make yourself even more of a victim. And I'm tired. You and Hippie are running neck and neck with needing to be a victim, with needing the world to have done something wrong with you. And Wesley, let's be clear, and Sean, that is a running theme. The world has done them wrong, and now they need TikTok to fix it. I'm going to need you to get your life together. I'm going to need you to maybe get off and think about who you really want to be on the internet. Because the internet is forever. And then you have people curious like me who are like, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't ring true to me. And so then I go investigate it. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. She may have something, but it's probably not that cute code word. And then I find repression. And that makes more sense. But when you don't bother to do any deep diving, you just see something and it sounds cool, so you use it, you make yourself look like a liar. How are people supposed to believe anything you say? But I'll be watching. Yeah, I don't like people who are like that. I don't like people who hear a good buzzword, read something, a paragraph about something, and then label themselves with it. Go see a psychiatrist, go see a therapist, talk to them about your feelings and see what they say. But you claim you want to have privacy, and yet you're telling us all of your business. Again, somebody make sense of that for me. You don't want me to talk about you. You don't want me to reveal the things you say, but you do it on a public platform. But in order to get new subscribers, you got to stay public. If all of your videos and lives were set to subscriber only, you couldn't get anybody new. You couldn't find an affinity with anybody new. But I guarantee you, using asexual, you were hoping to find some new people who might find you. Right. Like so many people with BPD. People used to be embarrassed, and now they wear it as a banner. I'm gonna need you to get your life together. So I am now done. Ooh, I'm sorry. I ate into the open mic time. I apologize. Where is the, oh, here it is. Good morning, Ryan Ray. How are you? So it's open mic. Anybody can come up. You can agree with me, not agree with me. You can tell me you think I'm doing something wrong. You can tell me that I'm full of misinformation, and that's fine. All I ask is that you come up. Sure, Meepers, you are welcome up. Anybody who has anything to say, whether you agree with me or not, whether you think that I do misinformation, all I ask is that you come up and explain yourself. Because if you feel like that in the comments, feel like that in the box. Yes, I'm very gentle. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, for everybody who may not be aware, this is Sean's former partner. And she, was it Mexican Homie or All for One? I can't remember.
I've been in both of their
Oh, okay.
boxes.
So she has been here to give us some background into Sean. Now, first, I want to say I am sorry what he put you through, and I am glad that you are in a loving, supportive relationship now.
Thank you for that.
There is happiness at the end of the rainbow. You just have to get to the end.
All right. I didn't, for a long time, I didn't see an end with him. And then our building got sold. Unlike he says it had mold and the rent got raised. That's not true. Our building got sold and I moved in with my mom, and the rest is kind of history.
Best decision you ever made.
Yeah, I agree. The whole thing is Halloween night of 2016, he did have a heart attack. And I think I stayed because he got really sick. And then right after that, they found out he had a tumor on his adrenal gland. So, like, I felt like I didn't see a way out. Like, I felt like I had to be his caretaker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Although,
I love that.
what was that?
I said, I know he loved that.
Yeah, he did. Although, and I've said this in other lives, the day he got discharged from having a heart attack, he called me and asked me if I would purchase him some alcohol. And I said, absolutely not.
Wow. And what's funny is he wants everybody else to care about his health while he doesn't. And how I know that is because he'll be like, "Oh, I have edema in my foot," and blah blah blah. And people are like, "Get up and walk around. Like you can't sit in a car in that position and not expect to get edema." But he needs to say those things because then you will feel sorry for him and give him money for a hotel.
Yeah, even like when I was with him, I would have to, like, he does have polycythemia, but he doesn't have cancer. And the only way he would go to his blood appointments is if I made the appointments. So he just doesn't take care of himself. If he doesn't have a woman doing everything for him, he doesn't take care of himself. He's not a veteran.
No, he is not a veteran.
He used to play Xbox. So I met him in 2006. Excuse me. around, let's say between 2010 and 2011, all of a sudden he comes out with this. He was a Marine. And I said, well, why didn't you tell me that years ago, not now? And then all of a sudden he produces these dog tags, which I didn't know at the time you could just buy online.
Right. But this is the other thing, though. If he was a Marine, why isn't he using any VA services? Why isn't he getting VA benefits?
Well, and I also emailed, excuse me, I can't clear my throat.
That's okay.
I also emailed Scammy because I wanted to correct something that I think that she misunderstood while I was filling out housing paperwork for us. And I would ask him, like I already knew in my mind he wasn't in the military, but I would ask him, do you want me to, what should I do? Do I check this box? No, don't check that box. And I would say, why? If you were a Marine, why am I not checking this box? So that kind of, and I asked him to get his discharge papers. He never wanted to do that. Well, that kind of told me everything.
Right. So tell me something. There had to be a good moment, especially at the beginning. So how did he attract you? Like, what did he say? How did he present himself? Yeah, DD214.
Well, let's just say back then I was under the influence.
Okay. Makes sense.
As far as when I first met him, he was a good-looking guy. He was trim. He had nice teeth. Still a crappy personality, but
Right. There was something to be attracted to. I don't think he's a bad looking man at all. Even in this condition, I don't think he's a bad looking man. I'm sure he was better looking when he was healthier.
yeah, because I met him when he was 28, so
Oh yeah.
he's just, he put on so much weight just sitting around 12, 14, 15 hours a day playing Xbox.
That'll happen to you. What were some of the other lies other than the stolen valor? What were some of the other lies that you either found out during the relationship or found out after?
Um, uh, I'm not going to say it on here, but one of his diagnoses I didn't find out until I'll say 2018 or 2019.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm not going to say what it is because it's not really for me to say.
Right. We don't need to give anybody's medical information that they don't say themselves. So I 100% support you in not saying that.
Within the first 6 weeks of me knowing him, he stole my rent money out of my purse right before Christmas and came back with back then it was a PlayStation, and he had a name tag on it that said Shane. He said he found it in Walmart parking lot and had a dozen roses for me. And I said, that's funny, you have a PlayStation and I'm missing money.
What made you not leave then?
I was under the influence.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then, as years went by,
I'm sorry.
I just felt stuck.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there, and I was there. I tell the story about how I was with someone who was a rug addict, and his family had basically all given up, and I felt stuck because I felt like if I didn't help him, nobody would, and so stayed, even though I kicked him out of my house. I stayed connected. I still took his phone calls. I still brought him food because I felt obligated to do so. And it wasn't until a therapist said to me, every moment and dime you spend on him is taking away from you and your son. And for whatever reason, that was the light bulb that turned on for me enough that I was able to finally just walk away and tell him, you've been on this earth long enough. You have to navigate it alone. So I know you said that the building being sold was the way you were able to get out. But what was
Hmm.
the final straw?
I was just tired of arguing and fighting and him not like doing his part, like helping with the house.
So that I remember you saying like he stayed home while you had to work and then be his caregiver.
Yeah, but he could, at some points, he could still do like housework, and he wasn't doing anything but sitting in the same spot like he does now.
Right.
I mean, maybe in 2009, in July, when my daughter was given birth, there was an incident that a 19-year-old girl told me that he made an advance towards her. And I was so dumb, I didn't believe her. And now I kind of believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I kept saying in Scammy's Live, because one of his mods were in there, like, ask him about July 2009.
That's true. I believe it because he's traveled all over this country in an effort to try to find another woman to latch onto.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't put anything past him now. Not a single
No.
thing.
And the whole thing I don't understand is, like, I've been away from him for almost 3 years, but he continues to talk about me. I didn't even find this app, and people can confirm this. I had people messaging me on Facebook asking me if I was his ex and could I get on TikTok to tell my side of the story.
Wow.
I didn't even have TikTok.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy work. But I will say this. I applaud you for coming. I applaud you for being willing to get in boxes, face questions, and being just open and honest because Sean and the rest of them will always say, "You don't even know me. You don't even know me." And while that is accurate, the fact that you want money out of my wallet and you don't know me is baffling. But when we do come across those who are familiar with them, and you couldn't get any more familiar than being his woman and living with him for all those years, when you can come out and say, "Hey, listen, I was there. I witnessed it. I know what he has, what he doesn't have. I have a history that shows that he's lazy, that he's just trying to live off of people, that he doesn't want to take accountability for his life in any way." He can't use that "nobody knows me." That
Right.
that argument falls apart. So I appreciate you and I applaud you for your courage because you now have, kind of like exposed yourself to those who support you and those who would criticize you. And that's
Right.
not easy to do, especially when you've already moved on.
Right. Like,
So,
and I try to keep this, because I'm married now. My husband is amazing. And I try to keep this like away from him because I mean, although he understands, he's so tired of Sean talking about me. He's like, why is he still like hung up on you? I said, because he can't find, I'm the last one he's really been with. He can't find somebody else to take care of him.
right. And he uses the nature of your relationship to victimize himself yet again. Like you were the bad person. You were the person that kept him from being able to fulfill his life. And I
He
say this
never
all the time,
he
men,
never wanted to do anything.
right. Men who fail to take any accountability for where they are in life are the problem. Because even if you did, let's say you did a third of the things he's accused you of, he still wouldn't be in this situation had he not contributed to why he's where he is. So where's that part, Sean? Tell us why you were lazy all them years. Tell us
Oh,
why you were still sitting in a car when you can get up and walk around.
I wanted to clear something else up too that he has said. He said that he is a domestic violence survivor. I did go to jail for DV, and I spent 2 days in there, and then the charges got dropped. So, but he doesn't tell the whole story.
Of course not. He ends it with the piece that again makes him look like the victim. And
That's so true,
nowadays,
Dana.
if there's any domestic violence, most times in most counties, somebody has to go to jail. It doesn't
Right.
even mean that they were the person that they were the instigator or they were the first person, but somebody has to go to jail.
And then there were also times where many times he would say to me, I don't think I should have to pay half of the bills because your income's more than mine. I heard that many times.
But you don't do anything. What like my thing is this though? What was he spending his money on?
Stupid stuff.
Like them
Gaming
fake
stuff.
bags.
He would always buy pieces of crap cars that needed a lot of work. And he's the kind of person, if which you probably can see this, once he gets an idea in his head, it sticks, and he just keeps going with it.
Yeah, hyper focused on nonsense.
Hmm.
Well, I
Yes, he
appreciate
does,
you.
Kristen.
Oh yeah, you could
Well,
tell. You could tell. Well, I appreciate you coming up and letting me ask you a few questions. Again, I applaud your courage and keep going and enjoy your life with your husband.
thank you
Sean
very
is
much.
irrelevant.
I
And
appreciate that.
hopefully he'll go away soon too.
I hope so. Or just
Yeah,
leave people alone.
right. You in particular. So have a great weekend, and you are
Thank
always
you.
welcome to come in and come up and share your insights. Until he's gone, I'm going to stay on his neck.
Good. You
Okay,
should.
thank you.
Can you drop me?
I absolutely can.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful. I'm glad she was willing to come up and share share her truth because we know Sean shares his lies, so we might as well get some truth. Does anybody else want to come up? You do not have to talk about the people that I talk about. You could talk about somebody else. You could talk about a potential. You could talk about a bolo, someone we should look out for. Good morning, Tech. I am. I'm proud of her too. So many women end up stuck in them situations, feeling like there's no way out. Wait a minute. Who? Okay, I can't follow that. Let me see your nails, buddy. Do you need them clipped? No. Good morning.
Good morning, all. All right, there's one out there. It's Sky Lynn Love. She's in Utah. Now, she claims she likes fishing and this and that. Well, I was on my burner account and I said, what do you need? I added her as a friend. Not 10 minutes after she got off the live, she DM'd me saying, please send me $40 for a new pole. I went in, I seen her yesterday or the day before. I went in under another burner account saying, Why are you DMing me or DMing my brother, my disabled younger brother, asking for $40 for a fishing pole? She turned around and she says, he offered it to me. I still
Wow.
have I still have the DM. And then she turned around and she blocked me.
Of
I went
course.
in another burner account. Oh, I have a couple burner accounts for a couple people. And I said, did you really DM that guy's disabled brother? I heard he was only 7 years old and he took his uncle's or his brother or his dad credit card and was going to use it and they stopped him. She blocked me instantly.
Of course.
So that's one to keep an eye out for. And if anybody follows a beggar and they send you a text requesting money, please send it to me. Just DM me. I'll give you my email because I don't want to put it out there because certain people like to send you certain things in the email, and I really don't need that hassle. But just keep an eye out for it. And if you get them, because we know Lisa does it, but she denies it.
Right.
And, I asked her under my one burner, I said, put me in a box. I said, I'll show you that DM that you sent my brother. Well, who's your brother? I said, I think he went under Pick Me, Pick Me. Well, one thing led to another. I don't know if I was changing accounts and I deleted it or what happened, but I can't find it. But now getting back to Sean, he states that he cannot use his car for door dashing because it's a piece of junk and it's always breaking down and this and that. But yet he's going to take a 4,000-mile trip in that same said car.
Right. It's a lie.
So, just we emphasize this all the time on here. If you go into these people, don't say anything, just read the chat and watch his expression. You can always tell when they read a question that they don't want to answer because they'll stare at it and then they'll look away real quick. Then they'll come back and they'll see the next one and they'll read that. Mark
Right.
was good for that last night. Mark was good for that last night because I seen that building inspector. I mean, I must have seen 20 accounts from that guy. It was building inspector 1, building inspector 2, and he kept coming back and saying, where's this video of you? Blah, 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 blah. Delete automatic. I mean, he blocked automatically. And, I just get rid. I mean, they would just get rid of that one and come back in under the next one. He was getting so mad
I
because
love that for him.
it kept, it kept bringing up, oh, yeah, I found the video. It was on YouTube. And I said, who has it on there? People ran over there and they were looking and they said, was that really you in that video? And was that Mary that they showed this and that? And I mean, his viewers went from like 350 down to 40 real quick. And it's, oh, well, I'm getting off. Too many trolls in here. I'm getting off.
Yeah.
And I noticed that Fun for Fun was having a lot of fun with Gigi last night, too.
Oh, really? Gigi, come up. I mean, like, you Fun for Fun, come up. I would
Oh,
love to hear about it.
you didn't see when Fun for Fun, Fun for Fun said something about the story of when the saber-tooth tiger broke her hip. Well, then she says, I didn't have a saber-tooth tiger, and I'm going to put you on the block party. Well,
I
then
did see that.
Fun for Fun came back. It was spelled capital F-U-N, and then the word for, and then capital F-U-N. Came back, and she's like, oh, my God, you're back again. How did you get back? She would block that one. Then it would come back fun, the number 4, fun. And to let you all know, I was Fun for Fun. I was having some fun. I was making her so, and then she says, oh, well, I'm so obsessed with her. And Iowa girl was in there and she texted me. She said she was beating herself. I needed to stop. And I said, but I'm just having too much fun. I wanted to know the story when the airplane fell out of the sky, fell on her house, and she was the only one injured with a broken arm. I mean, I was just laying it on, and these people were loving it because the more I would lay it on, the angrier she would get. And then she'd said, Then she switched to things. Well, I'm just obsessed with it. Well, come on, tell me what you like. And I said, I just want to hear all your outrageous stories, like when the aliens abducted you. But you can have fun. If I mean, I was making an account every 30 seconds. That's how easy it is. And you could use the same name, but just put a capital in the beginning or in the middle or something like that. It could be the same name, and you can have fun with it. But now remember, you can push these people to a point, like Lisa. You push them too far, they might do something stupid.
Right.
You have to know when to stop. After like the 15th or 16th time with Gigi, I said enough is enough, and I just left, and then I went over and tormented Mark.
Somebody said to ask you about what you saw with Sean switching seats in his car after dark.
What was that?
Somebody wanted to ask about Sean switching seats in his car.
Yeah, if you notice in the morning, he will most likely be in the driver's seat. You can tell by the background.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And when he's sitting in the driver's seat, he's always looking to his right side to get his monster energy or whatever's down in the little console. In the afternoon, you'll notice the left arm going down for said same things. He sits in that passenger seat because in the state of Texas, and I think it's just about all over the United States, if you're sitting in the driver's seat and you have been drinking, even if the keys are not in the ignition, it shows intent and they can get you for a DWI.
Mm.
That's something you have to watch for. Because if you notice now, and then he puts his arm up on the dashboard like it's on the steering wheel when he's in the passenger seat. He's not in the passenger or the driver's seat. He's in the passenger seat. And then he says, oh, well, it's because my camera, it's the way, well, turn your camera and put it the way it should be. Show us you're in the driver's seat and it'll instantly block you. And there's not always Monster in that can that he's drinking. He's been known to mix it with adult beverages. There's stupid little things that you can pick. There's stupid little things that you can pick up on. I mean, Texas Tiff, when she was watching him, she noticed something out the back. I mean, the smallest little object she noticed out the back of his window. She did a little research. She pinpointed him to the point where she knew exactly what truck stop he was at, notified the truck stop. Well, they in turn notified the authorities. Well, since he hadn't broken any laws, they couldn't do anything. But as soon as he panhandled or urinated in public or this or that, they would have trespassed him. But some trucker vets or vet truckers or whatever, they said that they were coming down to see him the next morning. Well, he got up and moved down the road. He moved down to a road to a truck stop called Stripes. He thinks he's smart. He's not smart.
No.
I mean, as the old saying is, you can outrun the law, but you can't outrun the radio. You can outrun a trucker, but you can't outrun their radios neither. I mean, one trucker gets on the CB and tells another trucker, and before you know it, keep an eye out for this. Like Thomas, the truckers are looking for him. They're not going to approach him, but if they see him, law enforcement will be called. Because I believe Thomas hangs out at the truck stop, and sometimes when the drivers let their dogs, out and run around and this and that, and the driver turns their head for a second, bam, that dog's gone. Because that's the best place to get a dog, because a lot of drivers, not every truck stop has the dog run area. A lot of drivers will let their dogs out and run because they've been cooped up in the truck all day long.
Can you tell us about Thomas? Because I don't follow him.
All right. Thomas goes by the name of Daniel McNabb, and he rescues dog. Well, he has a record out of North Carolina. He is a SA, supposed to register, hasn't in many states that he's been in. So he's wanted for that. He's threatened Scammy Claus. I mean, he's even posted a video, and he goes by the name um, "Time to Kill Scammy" or something like that.
Wow.
And what? I mean, there's so much of him running through my mind right now. Everything's boggling together.
I understand. Well, we don't have to
Um,
watch them and then talk about them.
oh, he claims that all these corporations are sending him donations. I mean, the these animal food companies are sending him a truckload of dog food a month. That's 24 pallets of dog food. And he has two Winnebagos, they say. Where do they store it? Because he supposedly has this big place down in Texas, but he's in Dexter, Missouri. Where is he stored? And he has anywhere from 12 to 18 to 20 to who knows how many. He rescues dogs and they have puppies and this and that. And he claims to rehome them for a $250 fee.
What?
Every dog goes to the vet, gets a complete checkup. They're all chipped. When you ask him to show the paperwork for the vet, well, when you send me the money, I'll show you the paperwork. No, you show me the paperwork before I send you the money.
Right. If you're legit,
I mean, but
when
you
you
know, he's 100%. He's 100% a total scammer. He's another stolen valor.
oh God.
He claimed to have been in the military for 22 years, but he's been saving animals for 27 years. He's only 47 years to begin with. And let's see what else was. Oh, he was a sniper over in the Persian Gulf or one of them, and he has 300 confirmed unalives. Even the best sniper in the military don't have over 300 confirmed unalives. Not in any of the wars put together. So
Legions of
that's another
Granted.
BS. And Guardians of Valor is looking into him, but Sean is actually on the top 5 of Stolen Valor or Guardian of Valor for Stolen Valor. They are doing a deep dive into him. And I was talking to one of the Navy guys. They said if he continues to let's say that he's a vet, charges will be filed against him, and they can do it. They have prosecuted many people for stolen valor.
They better get it together. Yeah,
So come
but
on, people. And that was my idea to do this on Friday. We need more people up in the box to talk about anybody. So come on up. All right. So I'm going to go back down.
okay. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Oh yeah, he'll use anything. Like I said, there's no too low. There's no too low. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I just wanted to follow what was it CJ was saying that was just in the box about Daniel. If you have not looked into Daniel Thomas McNabb, whatever, I think Daniel is what they found is actually his legal name. He is definitely someone to look into. He has literally been stealing people's dogs right out of their front yards and stuff. And the cops are looking for him, but with him being on the move so much, Texas Tiff, Scammy Claus, they're trying to kind of do like they do with Sean and, figure out his location by things he says, what he's wearing, his surroundings and that kind of thing. But he's, wanted by the cops for, and I think it's an NC, and maybe a couple other places, but for not registering, for SA.
Right.
And yeah,
How does he move
the
so
dogs
quickly with all
are
those dogs?
that's my biggest concern is the dogs. It's not fair what's being done to them, and I don't even think they're getting fed properly.
I don't.
He they do, I think, have two, like CJ said, have two RVs now or whatever. And he had said at one point he had 70 dogs right before he got kicked out of the last place or ran off from the last place, whatever. I think he got nervous and the lady kind of started figuring him out. But he at that time was saying he had 70 dogs and was, I don't know, supposedly on the move with all of them. I think realistically there is probably more like 20, but there's no way that they're being cared for properly. And like all being in an RV like that, they're all coming from different situations. Like there was one live where he was like in a McDonald's or something, getting something to eat, and something started happening out in the parking lot in his RV. And it was after that where he ran out, he was freaking out, and he got off live that he then started threatening Scammy Claus and saying that she had someone, come and do something to, three of his dogs, and one of them was unalived, from it. Yeah, and it's like the dog was in the videos the next day. He calls him like Jack or something. Jack's here alive and well in the videos the next day. Like he doesn't even try to do a good job about lying, but he has openly threatened Scammy Claus and says and I think like there's another rescuer he's threatened too, but like says he's going to make the trip down there to handle her. And I mean, the things he gets away with saying on this app is insane.
Sir, welcome to my man's little friend. Come down here if you want to.
Yeah. But seriously, yeah, he would be somebody that I think you would get a kick out of looking into all of the,
I definitely will. I've heard people talk about him a little bit, but it's like one more. But I definitely will, because somebody like him who may be harming animals needs all of the highlighting he can get.
Exactly. It's the dogs that I am ultimately worried about. And yeah, and he says like CJ was saying, he lies about things like, they've all had their updates, and about him getting all this food and stuff. He says each one dog that he adopts, he gives a year free food to. And I mean, just stuff that you can't, like, logistically doesn't even make sense. The numbers don't align, not even a little bit,
Right.
But it's
why are you keeping them for a year? It shouldn't take you a year to heal all of them and then house them. So what do you mean? Make it make sense, sir. We're not stupid.
Yeah, so it's it's definitely like in the fact that the cops are looking for him, it will make it a little bit easier to stop him once they can actually figure out where he is.
Right. You keep up the good work.
Yeah, definitely keep it up. But yeah, I just wanted to pop up and put my 2 cents in.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, you have a good one.
You too. I hope everybody enjoys their weekend, even if it is just staying home and doing nothing. Sometimes that's the self-care that we need. Lord knows I'm going to be uploading to TikTok. I mean, to YouTube all weekend. I only have a few more to go, though. You'll be proud of me. The goal is by Monday. That Monday morning I do the live. By Monday afternoon, it's up on YouTube in case you missed it. My YouTube is Digital Deceivers Shadow. All one word. Real easy to find. If you're looking for me anywhere, that's it. You want to email me? It's digitaldeceivershadow@gmail.com. Because I know there's stuff you can't do you can't send certain things on here, like regular pictures, all of that. Thank you, CJ. Well, if nobody wants to come up, I have done Seen Chicago Mommy yet? Nope, but I'll write her down. Okay, she's in the book. Good morning.
Good morning. I was going to say that that Alaskan guy
Uh-huh.
that came on this morning, if you look at my first video, he was giving an explanation to Anywhere Hobo Man about what was going on. Now, I don't fully understand it. It didn't make any sense to me, but it's a pretty good chunk of what he's telling himself what he did.
Oh, okay. I
It's
will
it's
go check that
serious
out.
charges. It's serious accusations and stuff. Yeah, he did some time in the hole and some serious time. Yeah.
Wow.
It's serious crimes. It's a serious situation. Yeah.
And this is Alaska King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my very last video that I just happened to be watching TikTok and something said hit record.
Right.
And I
Sometimes
did.
that intuition is the best thing ever.
Yeah, and I did. I said something's not right here and I recorded it and uploaded it. And I said, this don't make no sense to me.
Right. And what Judy say, if it don't make sense, it's probably not true.
Right. If I can't make it make sense, there's something going on. I need help.
Well, I will definitely check it out. I mean, is he paranoid much coming in here saying he heard I talked about him? Who would have told
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
I've never even
My
heard of him before.
my first thought was, oh no, it's me with the video. He's looking for Elmo.
Well,
Oh,
you found
dear.
your way to my attention. That was stupid, but
Yeah,
whatever
that
you
was
do,
very stupid of him. Very foolish.
they keep doing it. Like, thank you.
Yes, he apparently they did talk about he dated Hell, and she's another traveler.
Oh,
There's Anywhere Hobo Man, Hell, and now this guy. There's a lot of travelers I love to watch, but yeah, Hell's cool, but that guy there, you better yeah, he's there's another one that Sammy Claus speaks of, Scammy Claus, um, the Thomas guy.
uh-huh. That they were just talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, dangerous individual. Yeah, that is a very dangerous individual.
He said,
Just as this one here, I believe you may have caught, maybe in the same line of fire.
okay.
So be careful. That's
Oh,
all I'm
yeah.
saying. Be very, very careful.
I
Yeah,
appreciate the warning.
yeah. But the videos there,
I
just
will.
it's coming out of the horse's mouth himself.
Perfect. That's the
So,
best way.
okay, I'm gonna jump
Okay.
down.
Thank you. Yep. Finger clap.
Okay,
Because
thank
Monday
you.
morning it's gonna be 6:30 Eastern. Okay, after dark. Thank you. Okay, guys. It's almost 10. Oh, y'all know about Bree and 2K. They're just drama. Good morning.
Hey, Digital, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, I've never been in a box before, so I'm a little bit nervous. I'd like to switch gears for a minute and go to Cody.
Okay, that's fine.
Were you watching the other night when Grandpa showed up?
No.
Okay, Grandpa walks in the house and he starts the conversation by saying, there's a lot of cops outside. I had to park down the road and walk. So the questions start coming, why? Why are we hiding from the cops? Cody comes up to the phone and says, Grandpa has no driver's license. no insurance, and he is a rackhead, and he carries rack in the vehicle. So he was there to pick up the kids. So I asked her, I'm like, why are you letting the kids go with this man knowing all of this? And she said, because he has custody of the kids.
That's true.
She's letting those kids go with that man, no license, no insurance, with what she said was rack in the car.
That says a lot.
I mean, she's one to watch. The dry begging, like you said, she's really bad about the dry begging.
Mm-hmm.
But those kids are being put in a situation that could get them hurt.
That's facts, especially if she knows they're using. But he's
Oh,
the reason why she can't get assistance for them, because it's all he's the one who technically has custody. But my thing is this: I appreciate you that you felt like you could provide them for a better life, but then make it official, because at any time he could decide I'm taking the kids back, and that's that, and you will have nothing.
exactly.
Wow.
So I'm really concerned about those kids, her just letting them go like that. I don't think that's cool. I'm not on board with any of that. So, like I said, I think she's one to watch just for the kids.
Well, I'm following her because I think she's. Wait, did you get any info on Erica? I haven't seen her. She came back. She came back, and she came back with a green screen because she's afraid that people are going to know where she is and turn her in. But she's back. Yes, we're talking about Cody Saintson.
Well, that's all I wanted to say. I'm just, if anybody else watches her, just watch out when Grandpa shows up and nothing good's going on.
Okay, thank you, and I'm glad that you popped your cherry here. You're welcome up anytime.
Thank you, and drop me down, please.
No problem. Okay. Oh, I was hoping CPS got her. Somebody needs to intervene somewhere. I'm not going to say CPS, but somebody does somewhere. Okay, this time I'm ending. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. My mods, I love you. I'll be chatting with you later. Hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. I'm going to go take a nap now. And I will either see you in the comment sections or I will see you Monday morning, 6:30 Eastern. Set your clocks so that they reflect the right time. And look forward to Digital After Dark. It is coming. Please have a great weekend, everyone. Yeah, the clocks are going forward. Yeah, spring forward. The talks are going forward on Saturday night. Well, is it Saturday morning at 2 or Sunday morning at 2? I can't remember. Enjoy, enjoy. I'm out. Oh, it's Sunday morning at 2. That's what I thought. But people will say Saturday night. What a lot of people do is they just do it before they go to bed. So it just is what it is in the morning. Good night. I mean, good night. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm about to go take a nap, so good afternoon to me.